Hello, Lochani. Today's word is iridescent. Iridescence refers to a surface that seems to change colors depending on which angle you are looking at it from. You look at it from this angle, you see certain colors. You change your direction, the colors seems to change. You look at it from another direction, the colors seems to change. There is an animal or a bird like that, a peacock. When you look at it, depending on the direction of the sun rays on its feathers, it seems to change colors when you move your perspective. That is what iridescence means. Now, I want to use that word figuratively to describe the South African government. The South African government does not seem to have a firm position when it comes to political issues in the country, especially with reference to the march that took place on the 30th of June, which was meant to be a protest against undocumented immigrants in South Africa. Before the march, as the March and March group and affiliate groups were announcing what was going to happen on the 30th of March, the South African government was very firm. And its position, its angle was that they were going to go all out to defend illegal immigrants. They did not address any of the issues that were raised by March and March. They're very firm. They even committed to deploy 600 million rand of resources to protect illegal immigrants or undocumented immigrants and their business or their general welfare in South Africa. They were very firm on that. And they kept on harping on the question of violence, on the issue of violence. Come June 30, the march happens, and there were not dramatic incidents of violence as it was expected or as the government preached or anticipated. Then their tune changed. They started now speaking firmly about enforcing South African laws with regard to illegal immigration. They were very firm. You could see their direction. It was no longer the same tune that they were singing before the 30th of June. And then later on, I think it was on the 24th of July, the South African government sent an envoy to Nigeria to discuss this matter with the Nigerian government. I saw clips of that meeting. The South African government was receiving lectures, and they were soft pedaling, like schoolboys being lectured. And then they came back the following day to report in the media to say that the discussions were frank and all that, but they were on the receiving end. If you look clearly at those videos of that meeting. So once again, you see the South African government there changing its tune, being obsequious to the Nigerian government. They were going to go to Ghana, and you'd expect the same. They were going to go to Ethiopia, you'd expect the same. When they come back home, they try to present their report in a manner that suggests that the discussions were frank and all sides stated their case strongly, but no. So we're looking at a government here that seems to be spineless. It changes its tune depending on who is listening. So if you're listening to them in a particular environment, they say one thing. And in another environment, they say another. Before certain events, they say one thing. After those events, they say something else. So these are politics of iridescence. They change color depending on the direction at which you stand while looking at them. That is what iridescent means in terms of how the South African government presents itself. One moment firm, another moment soft, another moment being treated like schoolboys, then another moment they're standing like, you know, they are a strong, firm government that wants to implement its laws. That's how it is. It is advisable for people in their personal relations at home, at work, at school, at university, or any other institutions to decide how they want to be seen, what positions they take, instead of being iridescent, change color according to who they are talking to, where they are, and who is listening. Politics of iridescence. That's the South African government for you. Siyabonga. Re a leboha. Le sale hantle.